Squiggly Biggly.
Not a fan. All right. I'm squiggling with proceed with caution. That's about as good as we could hope for.
It's pretty true. Yeah, we spent several hours with Carl, kind of catching up, seeing what he plays, and all that kind of stuff. The thing is, he's very much like Blake in every way. He plays support. He's diamond, but he mains Soraka. That's the only difference. So you know,
I watched Beer
I can
Fest.
think. Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely. Howdy, folks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I did. I wanted to make sure that you had this like really, really good view of me. You know, I think it might help viewers. You know. I'm hoping so.
It's
what are the
it's
viewers
amazing
saying?
when he turns his camera on. It's like the original Tron movie. This like grid kind of comes down, and then he slowly fades into the picture. It's great.
Well, it was made during the Tron era, so one would imagine
Right,
that would
right.
be what would occur. So
That long ago.
Yep.
Hmm.
Wonka, 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 wonka,
It's
wonka.
pretty similar.
I don't know. I bet they enjoy it.
The god of laning.
The first thing I'm looking at is know your role. So it's really the easiest part of a team fight. It can get complicated, but I need to know what I'm doing. So if you're an ADC, you're trying to output damage, and then you have to start figuring out how best to do that. If you're a support, if you're a peel support or an enchanter, you have to know what you're doing first before you can help anyone else out. So I would say that's probably the first key is what does your champion do? And once you have that down, you've gotten through laning phase, and you're pretty sure you know what you're doing, then you need to go to the next step. Okay, so since Ashley asked the question, I think Leona's a decent pick. So you have two options, I feel, two main options when you're entering said team fight. You're either A, engaging, or B, you're peeling. And that's really based on your character's kit. So you have stuns, you have roots. So that's really what you're built around. And knowing the rest of your team comp can really help with that. If you already have an engaged tank top or something like that, and you have a fed ADC, you might want to keep other people off. But that's getting a little deeper into the conversation. But I'd say that's a quick example of knowing your character and what you might need to do.
Okay. Zil, your input. Same topic, same question.
Same question. So yeah, I guess like when I feel a team fight is happening, and then usually I'm seeing that kind of like coalesce around on the mini map. Objective, like there's an objective that needs to be taken. I'm starting to see people grouping sort of a certain area. There's gonna be a fight. There's potential for a team fight, and you just go. You go for the team fight. Make sure you're there, present, able to impact it if possible. And then I kind of look like Zach Galifianakis, whatever his name is, like from The Hangover, right? When he's like counting cards in blackjack and like all the like math and figures are like floating in front of his face. He's like counting numbers and like kind of spacing out. That's kind of what's happening to me because there's like a lot of factors that go in to deciding like what my next move is.
Stand still for the first 15 seconds of every.
That is exactly why I stand still. No, I'm not kidding. Like if you like look at me in person, if you saw me streaming, if you saw the camera on my face, that's exactly what's happening. It's just glazed over eyes, and I'm analyzing what is going to happen within the next 30 seconds.
Zil, quick, come to Baron.
I just trance out. What could possibly happen? What are all of the possibilities?
He's calculating all of the odds.
15,742. Yes. So kind of at that point, I am often figuring out who's going to engage, if they are, or if we need to, and who's going to start that fight. Ideally, and we've looked at these the videos that talk about team fighting. The ideal team fight for me happens front to back as a control mage, as a support type player. And I would like to be able to take down what's in front of us and then gradually move to the back line. However, there are things called assassins, and they tend to flank and be around on the outside. So a lot of times I'm just kind of hanging back to see what happens while staying within range enough to influence the team fight and how it goes from there. Yes, and it's around the outside, and it's LeBlanc usually and or Zed. But that's typically what I'm dealing with.
Zed is quite the trailer park girl.
Yes, he is. That was well done and remarkable allegory, actually, to exactly what goes on in most team fights. So, well done.
Well, I was just feeding off Zil. It definitely should have been a Kali. That bitch is trashy.
This is true. A gender abolitionist, really.
You don't know what's behind that mask.
Yeah. I mean, I play Zil with Smite. What can you say? something's wrong. So anyway, so here's what I guess that to answer your question. Like I usually kind of figure out what kind of team fight we're going to be dealing with first. It's like, is it a front to back, or is this sort of a like they have an assassin waiting in the wings to come in and snipe my AD carry? In which case, I need to be there to protect that AD carry as a person who can peel, as a person who can provide enchantments to help that happen. Right. Oh man. Right. Right. Sure. So I analyzed that with I mean, okay, I'm speaking from Zillion, but in general, let's think of like control mages and whatnot. Basically, if I can team up with the bruiser on my team, bruisers are really strong right now. Like, let's say I've got a Riven or an Aatrox or a Camille or someone who I can just like speed in like a bullet or follow in with like 2 dedicated people just to fuck Draven. That's what I will do. And I don't care if my AD carry dies, because if we take out Draven, that's all they've got. And I kind of look for those opportunities first in that sort of scenario. There,
So, so because everyone's listened to the Lola podcast, you know that they're trying to kill your Draven. So what do you need to do? Protect your Draven. They're going to be diving in at them. You're prepared for the counterpunch, right? So that's what you're all about now, because you're keeping your Draven alive.
yeah. 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 Right. Right. It is situational. It is situational, and that situational analysis has to occur in that initial like 10 second sort of dance before the team fight happens. You have to like count the people on the board in front of you. If the Zed is missing, he is going to try to flank and kill someone. Who is that someone? It's probably the person he can kill the easiest. It's probably the person he can kill the easiest and get away with. If they have a full engage comp, be prepared to not get close to them and always have the ability to kite back, because they will just try to ram their dick down your throat and it will hurt. Right now, full engage comps are extremely popular and very powerful. And you will see like the Scion and the Maokai and the Kled just go full balls to the wall in. And there's nothing you could, well, ideally in that like analysis that's happening before the team fight, you're able to go, we are in danger if we are a screen away from them. We need to be like a screen and a half away in order to be able to disperse properly or scatter or whatever it is in order to avoid that full engage.
And what you're talking about, Zill, is also analyzing the team fight 10 or 15 seconds before, but you said a couple of things that are very, very good points, that you can analyze the team fight in champion select.
I do.
You can absolutely know what they're going to try and do. Now, obviously, things change throughout the game depending on who wins what at what time, but you can see right in champion select, okay, they have two support, a support mage, enchanter, and two tanks for jungle and top, and then a Kog'Maw, right? There's a Kog'Maw comp going on. You know that before you ever get to the team fight. So keep in mind what the other team's goal is and what your team's goal is. What happens if you have a 6 split pusher, let's say? And your whole point then is to take the other 4 people and apply pressure and then disengage when a team fight occurs, because your split pusher is winning on the other side of the map. So you can figure out a lot about a team fight before you ever get into the game, just when you're in champ select.
Yes. I will say the split pushing thing a lot of times has to do with who wins lane top. It's like if the person who is our split pusher, dies twice in lane and then loses his first tower, unless it's a Trendemir or somebody who's like going to be a hyper carry, right? That person's not going to be split pushing for most of the game. They're going to have to learn how to team fight with the rest of us. And whether that's a Yorick and whether that's a Camille or whatever it is, it's like that has to be taken into account.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure what you mean. Right. So they have an assassin. They have perhaps a pick comp might be a way of putting that, right? Yep. Yeah, I think the Talon, Echo, LeBlanc are better examples of that than Lux. But yes, I understand what you're saying. Lux is like that if she gets fed, and I don't feel like that happens a lot. Right. Okay. That makes sense. Cool. I can feel my blood pressure rising thinking. Oh, gosh. He's warding. It's okay. It's getting vision. Right.
Oh no, the slow funnel into death. That's classic. That's what you have to do after someone gets caught, right? It's infuriating. Be like, no, I'm dead. Danger ping, danger ping, danger ping. Go away. Nope, here they come, walking at me.
Got it. I thought you were having a stroke, Danger. You were like, danger ping, danger ping. I'm like,
You thought I was trying to say
trying to say his name?
Yeah.
Is he okay? Oh, okay. Oh, I got it.
Don't worry. I'm sure I'll find someone to replace me. His name will be Carl.
You better have a twin brother, too.
Hey, man. This is brand new. $9. I'll see what I can request for Christmas. How about
I think
that?
just the mic. I don't really want to see him up close. That's fine.
I think it adds a real like ambiance. Yeah, you two being so clear, I don't think that's helping anyone. There's a little mystery behind this webcam.
Except I can see his monitor in double vision and his glasses as a reflection. It's pretty great. It's very, very anime. Also, be careful what you show up on your screen. There you go.
That's what I prefer.
There it is. Temple fingers. That changes everything. Wonderful.
That's the only thing I know how to do. It's gonna be pretty sweet.
I need to watch more anime. Gotta catch up.
Got a week.
Yep. Yep.
Should have bought that Lich Bane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in that analysis, things like vision, whether or not you can fight well in the jungle, or whether you should fight out in the open, like should all be kind of like things that filter through your brain as this happens. And this will be an instinct that you build over time, whether or not you're in a good place in your team fighting potential or not. But like, it's good to think about those ahead of time, even in champ select. It's like, do we have a Vayne? Do we have a brand? Is fighting in the jungle a good thing? Or do they have a Cassidon who's just going to like fuck us up even worse? So that kind of stuff. So
And you can win a team fight without even killing anyone. You can blow 4 flashes for the enemy team, have them blow all of their ults, and they have to back off, right? So now you can get pressure elsewhere. So you don't always have to keep going once you've really won the fight, because when the flash goes down, you have 4 or 5 minutes to play with, right? So you can get your ults back up, and then you can have a better engage on the next fight.
Yeah, because then you can go and take a tower and take drag, and that is like absolutely worth the team fight. You did not need to get kills to win that team
even
fight.
if they hobble away, they have to back. You got other objectives that you can focus on.
Yes.
Yep. So don't continue that 3-tower dive when you see that go on. You don't have to go 3 towers deep, unless he's Tom Kench and he's calling for a kill. Then just follow him, guys. You have to follow him. Round the outside. Round the outside.
Unless you're me, and then you're just staring into space doing math. If I ult this much HP, will come back, and then they'll have to do this much more damage to. Yes, go on. No, it is red string wall in here, my friend. It is bad. I
Is that a win? My teammates don't think so.
More along the lines of like, I kept Zed from bursting my ADC by 8 extra seconds this time. So, like, anyway. Oh god. Yeah, so like I think I do a lot of that actually. And I think it's because dare I say it, my champions that I play are not mechanically intensive. But like there's a lot of Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yee. Right. Right. I don't. Yeah. Right. Right. Mm-hmm. This does make sense. I'm trying to think of how this translates to other champions. I think like I think things like, let's say, more like Xerath or Malzahar, other mages of course that I play, but like are not quite as binary in that sense. They have things continually going on. So like I am still looking for groups of people who coalesce who can then take my AoE damage or my poke or whatever it is. I am also trying to stay back and away from the people who would try to assassinate me. Mm,
Right.
yeah.
And
Yeah. It's why all Yasuos don't have brain cells. Yeah. It's or seemingly so in fights. Like or when Riven rather, like just like goes all in on someone and does an insane move to like actually get to their target and burst them down, but then finds themselves in a place where they're just about to get gangbanged to death. So
well, yeah, and Zill, you see the fight as a whole, but a lot of people do focus on tunnel vision. How many times has someone typed in chat, "How did we lose that fight?" I took out like the main guy. So like you force like a flash or something like that from their fed guy, and he's over a wall now. But what you do is you keep following him. Hey, I'm supposed to keep Draven out of the fight. I'm going to stay on Draven. Well, he's not in the fight anymore. Yeah. And there's still 4 people fighting 4 people right behind you that you should be helping with. But because you are, I mean, and not you, Zill, because you play a much different style. I know I've done this myself before where I'm like, okay, I know who the big target is. I'm going to get him out of this fight. And I get him out of this fight. Right. And you get him out of the fight. You're like, yeah, we're going to win this easy. And you turn around and 3 of your people are dead and none of theirs are. And I go to all chat. How did we lose that fight? You know, like,
and I can explain it to you on a chalkboard 12 feet long exactly why we lost that fight. And you know what? Usually, if I ever ask that question, it's because I know the answer. And the answer is the ADC didn't shoot things. And that is probably the biggest triggering factor for me.
It's a fair move.
I know, but there's like a difference here because like I am a Zillion and I am standing right next to you. You have like crazy movement speed, instant CC on your body whenever you desire it, and a resurrection. If you are not shooting things, you are doing it wrong. You have all the power in the world. Right. Please, hyper carry Jinx. Shoot the things.
Shoot the things. You want them to go farm mid? Is that what you want them to do? Shoot things? You know,
you know what? Blake says, "Let's get back on track." Go ahead.
What I do is I go in with a plan, right? Like you said, everyone's got a plan. And then as soon as something big happens with that plan, whether it's an ult or a flash, that's when I quickly try to reassess the battlefield. Okay, so like I just said, like I just forced a flash away. Like, so the Draven jumped away from the team fight. That means they're not getting back in the team fight for 2 or 3 seconds. 2 or 3 seconds is an eternity in League of Legends. So what I do as soon as I force out something big, an ult, a flash, summoner spells, that's when I try to take a quick snapshot of the fight, and then I try and identify what my next goal should be. Do I need to try and peel with my next set of abilities? Do I need to try just body block? Oftentimes I'll play a lot of tank tops. And then so in that essence, I'm either engaging or I'm peeling. But that's when I take my moment, take a breath while the team fight's going on and try and really pay attention to what's going on around you. So I usually wait for that first moment where I forced something big from the other team, and then I can try and take a snapshot and figure out what to do next. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, like time starts to slow down for you. Like those things that happen really quickly when you're on a champion that you understand fully well and it's like second nature, you start to see actually what's happening during the team fight and not just missing stuff and just then going, why did this happen? I don't know why. Yeah.
You see it in basketball all the time. You have a 3-pointer with someone in your face, they just hit it. But you get that for some reason, like defense breaks down and they're just sitting in the corner. These are professionals who are ridiculously good. You see bricks all the time from wide open shots because they stop, they pause, they look at the rim, they're like, no one's coming at me. Okay, now I'll shoot.
Yeah, I mean, I think like performance anxiety is like a thing, right? With that, you like overthink things in
exactly.
the moment.
And then what Blake's saying is like when you're in that team fight, if you know all of your abilities and exactly what to do, you're not going to think about those abilities, right? You don't need to. I mean, I know, right? You're going to execute what you already are well skilled at doing.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. That's actually interesting because I actually have to. And it's because of the way that the W works, right?
Right.
So what you can end up doing is canceling your own combo by you'll like speed up to join into a fight, right? And then you'll accidentally like press W first before you press Q, and then no, you can no longer QWQ. Anyway, technicality, yeah.
Okay. It's not going great, but let's see if you can turn it around.
All right, fair enough. Sure, fine. I'm sorry, guys. You get what you pay for. This is true. Okay, so I do have a couple of things about team fighting. In particular, one is that I like team fights to last a long time. I feel like my opponents tend to make more mistakes and get frustrated the longer things go on without them actually accomplishing anything. And so, as an enchanter type or support type player, if I can keep my people alive, keep people together, and cause things to happen, but not suffer dire consequences, not throw all the eggs in one basket on one play, then we can kind of draw out mistakes. It's like the bear and bait type fight, right? Like throwing down vision and just doing that dance as long as you can. And then sooner or later, one of those assassins is going to lose his patience. The Kazakh's jungle, who's 9-1 and really feels like he should be winning this game, is going to force a team fight, and he's going to lose. Another thing, and this is a small rant of sorts, but games are won and lost on team fights, and you can be down 10, 12,000 gold sometimes and still win team fights based on your comp. But it really helps if you're not behind by that much. And so I would like to advocate at this point in time that
Stop
if you
feeding.
don't fucking feed in lane, like go 0-4 because you keep thinking you can get an advantage, but you've obviously failed twice. Like if you die twice in lane, stop the bleeding, man. Stop the bleeding, because then you can still have a chance when the team fighting stage of the game comes around. You can still have a fighting chance. And if you keep bleeding beyond that like 2 kill point, you've lost it, and you keep losing it. It is your fault.
My favorite is when they're also late game carries, but then they keep forcing the fights early game. They're like, I got a great idea. I'm 0-2, and they're 2-0 on like a Lucian, and I'm Vayne. But maybe if I go in this third time, things are really gonna turn around.
I like a lot of yeah, and a lot of
a dagger.
They didn't see me pull this down. No, I see what you're saying, but like, people often say, there isn't always a late game, but there's always an early game. So it's good to try to win in the early game, because you don't know if late game will come. You can, if you are smart enough and play safe enough, always have a late game to then come to and destroy people with. And you can do it at the team fighting stage of the game. But you have to think about what it costs when you die, what it costs everyone on your team when you are not on the board, and when you give gold and resources to the enemy team. You are fucking everyone over, and you need to stop it, or at least at a certain point understand that there needs to be a cutoff where you go, okay, no more of this. We can now think about focusing on what the team fights will look like and work on objectives from then on out.
You can still bring value to the team fight.
Yeah.
You don't have to win lane to bring value. Just don't completely get stomped.
and yeah. Ugh. That's all.
All right. Phil's happy now.
I just, I think it was two games in a row the other night. It was like I looked up and I was 0-2, and everyone else was 1-4. And I was like, if like 2 of us had also like only died twice instead of 4 times, this would not be this hard. Because all of a sudden the team fights were completely unwinnable. They were, you throw bombs on things who have so much health and resistances because they have so much gold that like nothing's gonna work.
Hey, so good news. I managed to fuck up the audio for the YouTube video, and nobody's heard anything that I said to date on YouTube. So, if you are on YouTube and you've managed to make it this far despite the frustrating broadcast, you might want to check out the podcast in audio format. That would probably be helpful. And sorry. Shit.
Just you or everyone?
No, just me.
Okay.
You remember when I plugged in?
That's my insight, so they're
Yeah,
happy.
you remember when I plugged in the good mic and I was getting squiggles? OBS wasn't getting squiggles. So
that's what they get you.
Yeah, I reinitialized it or whatever, and now it's kind of working, but fuck. My bad. Sorry, stream. Thank you, Ace Ricola. Shout out to you. You're the man for pointing this out probably forever ago. I should look at Twitch chat more. Okay. Oh, man. That sucks because we were really leading the conversation there. Anyway. All right. So, that being said, to recap, because we need to cover ADCs real quick that are going to be good to learn on and pick up. So first things first, mentally zoom out, pick a champion you're comfortable on. High-end mechanical champions generally are a bar because you don't want to tunnel. Like you want to do the opposite of tunneling. And that's analyze a fight kind of from a bird's eye view, right? So for example, I had one game where I was playing Leona. And this team fight breaks out, but it's real spread out, right? Like half of my team is over here, the other half is back here, and I'm somewhere in the middle. And I went, oh shit, what am I going to do? Right? Like, how do I do this? And then I went, okay, well, I can slow this guy. I'm going to turn that guy into a squirrel. That guy needs a shield. And then I can ult this guy over here. And whenever I did it, it felt weird because I think it was honestly the first time that I like actually mentally zoomed out in a team fight. And then I knew kind of like, oh, this is how you're supposed to do that. Like this is what doing it right feels like. And it took me several games, like probably 20 games, to wrap my mind around what I actually did and then start to repeat it. And that's why whenever I say this, like it is something that you have to put effort on. And an easy way to get there is to not like blow all your buttons right away. Is another hint I would give you is like be a little bit patient and kind of see how the fight's panning out. And that will force you to take in information, and it forces you to start the team fight in that mindset, and it makes it easier to stay in that mindset kind of after the first shot's been fired. Do you guys have any tips or anything like that we can add on to this before we close out kind of how to team fight?
My only tips are know your goal and the opponent's goal when you're going into the team fights. I think that's it seems so obvious, but if you need to peel for your ADC and you're diving into the other team constantly, then you're going to continue to lose said team fight. So know your role and try and execute that as best you can.
Okay, there's one thing we talked about earlier that I want to like round out and end this discussion on, and that is, when is the team fight over? Right? Because Danger, you brought it up, and you said like, oh, did you blow all their flashes? Is it over now? Are they all backed off? Did they have to run? Did they have to back? Did we get 3 of them? And now it's over? Can we go do an objective now? Right? Like, how are you running through? Because I just gave a whole bunch of questions. Like, how does this work for you guys? Like, how do you guys decide, okay, that's good enough?
If the value of what you can take is greater than chasing, kills. I know in Silver you want to chase those kills. You get your 70 to 60 games, right? But there's so much more value on the map. Towers, Baron, Dragons, they're all very valuable. So if you can kill two of them are at 10% health and run behind two turrets, there's no reason to continue that fight. You have other things on the map that you can focus on. So for me, a team fight is a win when you gain more value after the team fight. The team fight itself, yes, you ace them, great. There you can do anything that you want, but you don't need to ace them to win a team fight. You can gain more value after that fight is over.
Okay, so
by taking other objectives.
I want to kind of clarify your thought process here, right? So the team fight is over. We ace them. Hooray! What does an ace mean? That means you have uncontested control of the map for the next X seconds. Right?
What are you going to do with those seconds?
What are you going to do?
Back. That's what you're going to do.
What are you going to do for the next 15 seconds that you just got for free? Right? And keep in mind that's 15 seconds of everybody being dead, not 15 seconds including travel time from their base to the Baron Pit, or from their base to the Dragon Pit, or from their base to the tower, or from whatever, right? So what does that free time buy you? Is it meaningfully different that everyone is dead than 4 out of 5 are dead, or 3 out of 5 are dead? Right? Like, in the end game, if 3 out of 5 are dead, you can probably get Baron uncontested. If you didn't lose anybody, you could probably get Dragon. You could probably take any tower in the game, right? And I know this before I even say it, but I actually somewhat disagree with you, in particular when we talk about our silver friends, right? How kills are valuable in silver, right?
Yep.
And here's why I disagree about like chasing kills in silver. And okay, I know what. Suspend disbelief for a second. I know what I'm about to say is objectively wrong. Okay? So I'm going to throw that out there. This is not good play. This is what passes for good play in the context of you are in silver.
Okay.
Right? So, and it's not meant to be a slam. That's meant to be it's a different fucking game. Right? And anybody who tells you that silver is the same thing or played the same way as diamond, challenger, plat, whatever, that's total bullshit. Totally different meta, totally different game. Okay? Like, you are not doing what the LCS is doing. Like, I'm not doing what the LCS is doing. Right? They play a totally different game. Every elo is different. So, in silver, you never see tower dives, which limits the value of a 5v2 or a 5v3. Right? Because with a 5v3, you should not be scared to push towers, even if they show up to try to clear the minion wave. Because if they do, you can dive them with 5 people and you will probably instantly annihilate them. 5v3. You have 2 extra bodies, and the turret only counts as one person doing mediocre damage by that point in the game. Right? It's not truly a threat. But in silver, it's treated like the magnifying glass on the movie Ants. Right? Like, it's just this giant space laser that, and then everybody's, and then done. Right? So, because of that, you can't go 5-3, right? Kill 3 or kill 2, and then go, we can take every turret. Because you're not going to get those turrets. You're going to push on those turrets, and then they're going to show up to defend them with their remaining 2, and you guys are going to go, well, what do we do now? And then you're going to back off in base, more than likely, right? Because I've seen that 1,000 times. It's the wrong thing to do, But considering that those plays do not happen, I don't mind chased kills because even though it's suboptimal, you will get more out of those kills than you will get stalling out at a tower. Right?
And I guess I should preface mine is, I mean, like when you follow someone through the jungle for 30 seconds and everyone pops back up, right? You're just chasing kills, or you go 2 or 3
Okay,
turrets
so
deep.
let me explain that.
That's what I was kind of
You're
thinking.
not actually chasing kills there. You're chasing a dream if you chase somebody for 30 seconds.
I'm totally going to get this LeBlanc. There's
You're like,
no chance.
I'm
Oh, there
chasing
they
the
go,
dragon,
that wall.
boys. I'm going to get him this time. You know, nope. That's not going to happen. So, but I mean, here's the difference, though. If you go 5-3 in silver and Baron is up or Dragon is up, you can probably get it.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, you should probably be able to get that. But I don't, for some reason, towers are treated with this, like, deference that it's impossible to take one if there's even somebody there defending it. And that lasts through gold. You know, it's not until plat that people start figuring out that they're not safe under tower and it's not like a safety blanket. So until that point, if you can catch an extra kill, even if you would have taken an objective like a tower, probably go catch it because your team's not going to push tower like they should.
It's fair.
You know, but like if you go get a dragon or something, fuck that. Go get that dragon. Go get that Baron.
Yeah.
Get that Scuttler. Or the Rift Herald or whatever. Not the Scuttler. Not the Scuttler.
Gotta get that scuttle.
That big ass scuttle. The one with the eyeball on its back looking at you. So, okay. That being said, I think that's a pretty good handle on team fighting. I honestly think we've probably run out of time to talk about ADCs meaningfully. Because
Yeah,
it's
looks like it.
56 minutes, so we'll just save that for another day. Do you guys want to give the people their money's worth in the next 5 minutes? Are you guys hyped for Fnatic? And
Yeah, I think it's
IG?
gonna be great, man. It's gonna be a fun game.
Predictions.
Two from the same group. Two from the same group. How crazy is that?
Who do you think's gonna
And
win?
they've already been through a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
You got to go with your heart, and that it's got to be Fnatic, man. I want Fnatic to win. I know Rookie is insane, and he's been just getting better as the tournament's gone on for IG. But in my opinion, Broxa has been one of the best jungles in the entire tournament, and he's continually getting better. Reckless is going to go farm, and he's going to keep farming until he hits his 400 CS win condition on Sivir. And they did a good job in the second 2 games versus IG of helping Caps out. And Caps is insane, but he's not Rookie insane. So of helping him out in mid, enabling him once he got behind, and he did get behind. And I give it to Fnatic 3-1. I really think that they have a better team composition, even though Rookie is probably the best player in the world right now.
And I mean, here's the thing. I'm very much on the fence because I think this is a really even game.
Yeah, I mean they went
Like-
2-1 in their group, right? So
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and they were really close games sometimes. So
but I mean, to be fair though, by group stage and knockout, the game has evolved in such a way that you can't really. It's not a good comparison. It's like
yeah, that's
how
fair.
you're gonna do
I
in
mean,
a 1v1.
The
is
metas continue
different.
to change. Yeah,
Well, and it's also different in like a best of 5.
yeah,
You know, because you got to pick out different picks. You got to react to what's strong if something wins, or you have to just pick bans for like a long-term strategy instead of a short-term one. It's a bit of a different game. So I don't want to put too much stock in that. Like me, I don't want to put too much stock in that. But I could see an argument for it to say, hey, they're pretty balanced and they're pretty close. But like on the dive and on this or that, Jet was talking about the individual matchups of like who is strong, and they're like, yeah, IG right now has like the number 1 player in 2 roles,
right.
and Fnatic has the number 1 player in 1 role, and everybody else is kind of a toss-up, right? But here's the difference for me. Caps is not that far away from being like the top. I mean, he is a top tier player.
Absolutely. Yep.
And, everybody else on Fnatic has been performing exceptionally well. Everybody else on IG has been performing exceptionally well. I honestly, this is going to sound like a cop out answer, but it's going to go to whoever shows up, right? And I think the way Fnatic have been, I think they will show up or they will implode horribly because they have put so much pressure and confidence on themselves that if they get shattered, I don't think they recover.
Yeah, you
Right?
don't want that first game to be a stomp. That's for sure.
Right. So I think it will either be like I don't see it being like Fnatic stomps, like just 3-0s. I don't see that happening.
Agreed.
I do, however, see it to be possible for IG to stomp 3-0. And I think it's much more likely that it will go like 3-2.
I think 3-2 Fnatic is my prediction.
Yeah. I picked C9 to win Worlds.
I picked Fnatic. So
I did not make my 34 points this year. I will not. I will not. So take everything I just said in a grain of salt because I did not get 34 points this year. This is the first year I've ever failed that miserably. So.
I think one of the big keys too is Jackie Love for IG, because Jackie Love is like an all-in type of ADC where he just and he did it in the LPL finals where he dove in and got blown up right away, and then everyone was like, Jackie Love cost them the series. And then just in the not the last series, but the one against KT, right? They were up against KT. He dove in and killed 2 people, and then they won the series. So I mean, he's very much in your face ADC, like no holds bar. If he does that and it succeeds, then he'll be known as like the hero of the series. And if he does that and fails, he'll be known as the GOAT. I think it'll really come down to like how they can exploit Jackie Love's like.
That's crazy because you are, I think, the only one that's even mentioned that the bot lane is going to be a thing to watch.
Yeah, well, because
like,
everyone wants to talk about
is
rookie, like caps, but those ADCs are still scalers, and I know he plays a lot of Zaya. He plays, you'll see Reckless on a ton of Sivir. They'll go most likely back to those comfort picks, and no one's banning ADCs right now, right? You got too many mids you need to ban when these two going at it.
Let me just throw this out there. I would rather have NA or EU win Worlds.
Absolutely. I don't care if EU gets all the bragging rights in the world. For one, Fnatic is badass. I think most, NA fans still know of Fnatic, and
I have a Fnatic jersey. I have one.
There you go.
Like they are my European team, and C9 is my NA team. And my Fnatic jersey's got like Wise Papa Smurf on the back of it. The problem is, it was when I weighed a lot less, and so now I have like a very skin tight, like
damn 30s. They just
I look like a goddamn X-Man now whenever I wear it, but like an X-Man that's really out of shape. So
nice.
Yeah, but I will be wearing it for finals. Maybe I'll stream it.
Oh, you should stream that for sure.
Stream me like
a ton of viewers.
You should just tie it up and show your midriff a little.
Like put one of these like 1980s girl knot right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, who knows? Whatever gets the viewers, man. Show needs fans. God damn.
We'll dress you up like Sneaky.
Yeah, I have no self-respect for this shit. Anyway, so we're all hoping for Fnatic. I voted for Fnatic. Are you guys both Fnatic? Yeah.
Both Fnatic.
Okay. Fnatic 3-2. Yes.
So we think Fnatic's gonna win.
I want them to win, but I also think they will win. But that's probably because I want them to win. So.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, I just like nothing against China because I know they've never won it before. So that's kind of like this is a first for them too. But I am so damn sick of hearing about how Korea is awesome and China's like almost as good as Korea, and then
Well, that,
everybody else is
that
shit.
myth is busted now, right? Like that's just how it is.
No, it's just the meta. Just the meta
hold
favored
on.
us. Yeah.
It's busted if EU wins Worlds this year, and that's why there's so much heat on this. Because if IG just goes through and wins, then
They'll say IG beat the #1 Korean team, and so then they also won Worlds. So that's the
China
the
won
link.
MSI.
Yeah, with RNG.
Okay, whatever. Sure.
So it's like, yeah, I'm ready to be done with like foreign dominance, except I guess Europe, who I don't for some reason count as foreign.
Do you have European heritage? There you go.
I do actually.
There you go. We all
Scotch,
do.
Irish, German.
Well, it's like, yeah, we're all white. Okay.
Yeah, I figured
Well,
it
no,
out.
it's not
It was a
about
puzzle.
being white. It's I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like I watched both of those leagues. Like I have watched Fnatic.
Right.
I don't watch the LPL. You know.
Oh man, you should. It is a bloodbath. It's fun.
Well, I imagine it is, and it sounds like I wish I played there.
It would be more your style without a doubt.
Yeah, but I mean, I actually have enjoyed watching the EU LCS, so I feel more attached to that scene. There's a rivalry with NA. You know, it's like we're considered to be kind of on a level that's comparable. One of us will be better one year, the other will be better the other year, whatever. I mean, we've kind of got the shit into that stick for a while, but still, you know, it's there, and we're both not like Korea, and China's like baby Korea because they import a shitload of Koreans, and
they have a healthy rivalry with Korea. You know, LPL
they have a healthy rivalry
LCK,
with Korea, and it's geographically closer. So no, it's not about being white, Zill.
No, he just meant from my European comment. You know, so most likely. You're not Native American, right? So.
Way to go, Whitey. I bet you like them Europeans, huh?
Just saying,
European privilege
that you have European heritage.
Yeah, no.
That's all.
My mother's maiden name was Gutekunst. So that's German.
Definitely English there, right?
For good art.
Germanic, probably.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's German. Straight up German.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Gutekunst. German for good art.
It's a beautiful name.
You should have kept that name.
No.
Blake Gutekunst.
Why is Papa Gutekunst here in my lederhosen? Dance the dance of my people. No, that's not.
In your Fnatic jersey, please.
Yeah, I was going to say, do your happy dance in the Fnatic jersey.
I have brought some beer. No, that's. Wait a minute. Why did I do a Russian bear?
I'm not sure.
That was
it still worked. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, good luck, Fnatic. We're all behind you. Best of luck at Worlds. I hope you win. Oh God, I hope ID doesn't win. So
I know it ruined such a great tournament.
Oh, and I want to take a moment because we haven't thanked the Patreons in a while. Thank you guys. I really appreciate your support. What's really, really cool is that the Patreons that we have gotten in the past few months, we have actually retained. Right? Like, nobody's canceling like usual.
That's awesome.
Like, lately we've had like a whole bunch of people add and then a whole bunch of people cancel, and it just kind of roughly balances out, and maybe we make some or maybe we lose some, and it's kind of variable. But lately, like, we haven't gotten that many new people, and that's fine because we're at a level that is sustainable, right? So we can, buy a butter squeegee for Danger's webcam. And, and that's something we could totally do while still affording server costs and stuff. But, what's cool is our recent fans have just been solid. Like, they've kept supporting the show. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It really helps us do, what we can to help provide for you guys and try to help get you better at League. We are still here in the Discord. You guys can come in, pop in, hang out. It'll be fun. We play like all the time, and we're not hard to access or get a hold of, and it's not weird. You can just come hang out and say hi. We'll introduce you to people.
Yeah.
So
it's a good community. You'll be happy to show up.
Yeah, if you guys want to do that, come pop in and join. If not, and you just want to be like in the dark supporters, thanks. And if you're just a guy who downloads this and listens to what we have to say, also thanks. So yeah, I mean, really, tell your friends. If you're the guy who doesn't sub or do anything, that's fine. I love you still, but tell your friends because we would like to grow, right? So, other than that, thank you guys. We really appreciate your support. Thank you everybody. And with that, good night everybody. You guys, this is the part where you say things.
Goodbye.
Good night, everybody. Oh, that's
Wait, now.
You can't say the same thing.
You come up with your own shtick, man. That is a pure German heritage goodbye.
Gesundheit?
Literally means health, by the way. Health.
Health for your body.
Temple fingers. I want to go win some team fights.
All right, we have it. Yeah, no, the whole thing got fucked up because it was recording off my headset for OBS and was not recording off of my mic.
Not ideal. It'd be really interesting to listen back to it and try and decipher what your questions were.
Oh, you're just going to hear silence and then Zill screaming, and then that's it. Don't feed. And yeah, and then that's it.
I was just in a game, like we're talking about this, and you start ranting, and I was just in a game of a Lucian versus a Kaisa, and the Kaisa was 0-4 at like 7 minutes, and I was like, just stop fighting. You're Kaisa. You're not gonna beat
You're
Lucian
gonna
in
be
lane.
fine. You can farm under tower so fucking easy.
I know.
Just sit back on your ass and then win later.
It was driving me nuts. And she's like, "No, I'm gonna go in for another fight."
No.
All right, I'm stopping the stream now. We've had a lot of fun. Here we go.